This is the macro teaching video part 3. This video will introduce the syntax of macro and method of alarm. The content of alarm is a custom string that notifies the user when a wrong program has happened, and macro execution can be suspended. Here is the format of if syntax. According to the amount and order of conditions, it is written in if, else if, and else, and the ending is fixed as end if. If there is only one condition, we don't need to write else if or else. The condition is equality, such as equal to something, is greater than something, is less than something, is not equal to something. The statement is the action to perform when the condition is true. Note that you only need to add a semicolon after the statement and end if, not after then. Use a macro alarm to notify users when an exception occurs. It suspends the actions of the controller when macro alarm is triggered. The macro alarm can be written in two ways. The first method has to define the alarm number and the content of the string written between two double quotation marks. This method is suitable for situations where custom alarms are not too many. The second method has only to define the alarm number, but the content of the string has to be edited separately in other files. This way is suitable for the multi-language custom situation. That is, can switch to traditional Chinese, simplified Chinese and other languages. Define the conditions and situation for an alarm, based on the protections and restrictions mentioned in the Part 1 video. This is done using the if syntax. This page will introduce the protection without popping out an alarm. First, if either length or width is not inputted, the program machines a square path. Here can be split into two conditions. The user doesn't input a length or width. We can use if syntax to judge that. When the length or width variable is vacant, the system will machine a square path, representing the length as equal to the width or width is equal to the length. So the statement needs to input in an equation. Refer to the blue box on the right side. Second, if the feed speed is not inputted, 1000 mm per minute shall be used. The content of the condition and statement is clear, so the completed content is shown in the red box on the right side. This page will introduce protection by popping out of the alarm. First, if the length and width are not inputted, need to pop out the alarm. Here have two equations in if syntax, and between them, we use AND logic. The statement is popping out of the alarm string. The first alarm method is used here. Refer to content in the blue box. Second, if the x or y coordinate of the center is not inputted, need to pop out the alarm. The second alarm method is used here, and have an OR logic between two equations. Refer to content in the green box. This page will introduce how to create and edit an alarm string file of the second alarm method. First, create a text file name as shown here. The extension file name is XML, and the COM represent English alarm file. Second, use the text editor to open the file. Third, input the content as shown in the figure. The ID here should correspond to the macro alarm number, such as 10,002. The content of the string is written in double quotes after the content. Fourth, save the file. Note that you need to save it in UTF-8 formats, as shown in the figure on the right side. In addition, the last part teaching video will show you how to put the file into the simulator. Priorities and severity determine the location of the above contents in the macro. If you encounter an error that affects macro operations, you must first eliminate it. For example, those situations will pop out alarms must be placed at the beginning of the macro, because in both cases, the expanded G code cannot machine the rectangle. The contents with alarms take precedence over those without. In general, we put both protection and restriction at the beginning of the macro.